In order to maintain a viable budget, the Finance Vice President often submits recommendations to the Council on areas in which spending is required and in areas in which spending should not occur. How do you distinguish an area in which spending should not occur?
Well, the priority will start from which one will benefit the students first, and from this process, I can go more further and balance the expense between the both, which is most important and the less important. And the main point for the students to cooperate with each other and increase the knowledge for the organization of the club and help the community. Thank you.
Candidate Hatton, you have 30 seconds to revise. You may begin speaking whenever.
Well, the way I would distinguish whether or not it's viable spending or not is to look at what the students want, and if the students get something out of what we're spending, then it's going to be worth it. And if the students are not getting something out of what we're spending, then there's no point in doing it. And if we find out that the students are able to get something, but we're not going to be able to get the spending, then I'm going to try as hard as I can to make sure we get what the students want. Thank you.
The next question is for you, Candidate Hatton. Oftentimes, the Finance Vice President must engage in negotiations with the administration and outside vendors regarding fees assessed to the students. If you believe the asking price to be grossly unfair, explain a negotiation tactic you would utilize to ensure students receive the best price for the generic service.
One negotiation tactic that I would use to make sure that the fee that they're getting is going to be worth it is to give them an ultimatum. Say, I'm going to tell them that the only way we're going to spend this much money is if we get this, this, and this. And if we don't get this, this, and this, then I'm not going to approve this spending.
Thank you.
Candidate Alpines, you have 30 seconds to revise.
Well, he might be right that we need a process to know which one is better for the students. And I think that we can negotiate through the benefit for the students, which is first, and there why we have this university. It's for the students. Thank you.
Candidate Alpines, the next question is to you. It is possible that the administration may, at times, not provide you with adequate or timely information regarding budget requests. How would you go about ensuring you maintain a professional, beneficial rapport with the administrative representatives? It is possible that the administration may, at times, not provide you with adequate or timely information regarding budget requests. How would you go about ensuring you maintain a professional, beneficial rapport with the administration representatives?
Well, through my experience back days that reports need to be done at time, and if there's a lack in the information, we can provide it from other departments that may help the students. Thank you.
Candidate Hatton, you have 30 seconds to reply.
If I was not given adequate time to provide certain information to the people, I would make sure that, given the time that I had, I would do everything to make sure that I give as much information as possible to the higher-ups to make sure that the point that we're trying to get across gets across. And if I would make sure, I would also inform them that I wasn't given that much time and that I did everything in my power to give them as much information as possible.
Candidate Hatton, the next question is for you. The Finance Vice President must be adept at keeping clear, concise records. In which methods will you engage to assure the student body that financial information is kept as secured and legible as possible?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. The Finance Vice President must be adept at keeping clear, concise records. In which methods will you engage to assure the student body that financial information is kept as secured and legible as possible?
The biggest way I would assure them that the financial records are kept legible is if they ever came to me with a question or any sort of information that they needed, I would make sure that I would have that information readily available, and I would show them that information to make sure that they had a visual look at what information I was telling them. That way they understood it, and that way they could come back and review it, or I could give them a copy of it, any sort of way that they needed it. Thank you.
Candidate Alphias, you have 30 seconds.
Well, I think the student need to have that access and know where the money goes and where it comes from. So it need to be more clarified for the students. It's their money. Thank you.
Thank you, Candidate Alphias. This is your last question that you will receive 1 minute time to respond to. As money is an essential aspect to each of the council members' activities, it is possible that the finance vice president may come in conflict with other members of the council regarding budgetary requests and amounts of monies available. If such a conflict were to occur, how would you defuse the conflict while at the same time maintaining appropriate budget refusals?
If the conflict happened, like I believe there's a solution no matter what happened. And through this belief, I can figure out a solution and either divide my time between the both and try to find the solution, or try to pick the most priority for the students, and which is going to benefit them. Thank you.
Candidate Hatton, you have 30 seconds to reply.
Conflict arose between other committee members, I would tell them the most unbiased and most reasonable way to resolve the conflict, in my opinion. That way I gave them a solid foundation of what I believe, and that way they could, and if they still were having troubles, I'd have them both come talk to me, and we'd all sit together and we would make sure we resolve this conflict with budgets and the money that they were trying to receive or give to someone else. I would make sure they understood what my stance was on, and I would be completely unbiased in my stance.
The next question is for you. At times, clubs, organizations, and other groups will request monies from ASEWU. Informative paperwork is required for these requests, but it is sometimes the case that the club, organization, or group in question is not willing to complete this paperwork. How can you properly address this issue with the organization, either preemptively or at the time?
If the way I would get the information out to them that they needed this paperwork, I would, at the very beginning of the year, I'd make sure I'd attend the meetings that all clubs go to, and I would inform them that if they need some sort of supplemental request, that they would have to come to me with the proper paperwork, and if they did not have the proper paperwork, that I would help them get it. If they needed help solving it or filling it out, I would help them to fill it out, and if they ever needed any additional help, that they could just contact me at any time, and I'd make sure that at every other organization meeting that happened thereafter, I would have it in their minutes or some sort of announcement that they need proper paperwork if they needed extra help.
And I advise you have 30 seconds to reply.
The time is not belong to us since we're been elected. It's belong to the students. We offer our time, our efforts to help them, and combine all of these things to have better outcomes. And that's it.
Thank you. Thank you, candidates, for answering the moderator's questions. We hope that the student body is more informed on the choice. Right now, candidate Hatton, you will be given 30 seconds to make closing remarks. You may begin whenever you're ready.
Again, Samson Hatton, running for Finance Vice President. If elected, I'd be sure to fight for every single student organization, every single student on this campus. I do everything in my power to make sure that their voice is heard, and that every single expense that they put into this school somehow gets related back to them in some way. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate Hatton. Candidate Alphias, you have 30 seconds to give closing remarks. Begin whenever you're ready.
Well, the only thing that I can say, students number one in the school. Without them, we're nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, candidates Hatton and Alphias. And these gentlemen will be your new Finance Vice President. Please consider their comments today, seek them out, ask them questions, be an informed voter.